And welcome to another chess video. This is Sakester, playing once again against GrandmastaGus. So I won the last game, and we're playing another 15-minute game. I am playing the black side of the French this time. If you didn't watch the last video, I played on the white side of this. So if he plays knight d2, the trash variation, we will go into the same exact line, but with opposite colors. I'm pretty comfortable with both sides. Okay, so he plays the exchange, which is slightly boring. It was because of this variation that I considered playing the Sicilian against him, but this is just very drawish, and black equalizes immediately. I could go for queenside castling kind of stuff. So why don't I try... We can try this first. Okay, I want to pin this. So I'm trying to castle queenside to throw him off a little bit. Try to make the game a little bit more interesting. So the idea is after rook e1 check, I can play knight e7. Okay. So he just defends this. Maybe I can just lift my queen. Queen lift. Not sure if that's a thing. And he'll probably play rook e1 check. Or if he doesn't, then I'll just castle immediately. I do want him to play h3. If he plays h3, then I kind of have a hook on which I can attack. They usually call these weakening moves on the king side hooks. So I can hook onto it with one of my pawns and open up the lines. It's actually harder for me to get an attack out of this if he doesn't move his pawns on the king side. Usually when on the side you're being attacked on, you want to leave your pawns alone. His counterplay will come from b4 and b5. Okay, that's interesting. So, I think I played this anyway in these sorts of lines. Once again, if he ever checks, I just play knight e7. Okay. I could play g5 here. Maybe grab another tempo. I'm not sure if that's really what I want to do. So do I want to just castle first? Or maybe I should play knight e7 and keep him guessing. Let's think about this. Yeah, because I might want to reserve kingside castling. So let's keep him guessing. I don't want to commit to queenside castling until I really have to. Okay, and so the idea was that now I could just play the quick knight f5, winning the bishop pair, I think. Yeah, that looks like it wins the bishop pair. If he checks, I could either play knight c to e7, which looks actually like an idea, or I could even play king f7 and then just castle by hand. So I do like the idea of knight f5. Does it work? Let's see. The bishop pair is quite useful. Knight f5. Which bishop does he want to lose? He probably wants to give up the dark square bishop. But hold on. Knight f5, he plays h3. If I play bishop h5, he plays g4. I mean, he could. I like the look of this. Now, if he checks me, I think I'm going to play knight c to e7. I'm not sure if he wants to open up his king side with moves like h3 and g4. So, I think I'm getting a little bit something out of the French exchange, which is always nice. Okay, so he just gives me the bishop pair. I think I'm going to take that immediately. Okay. And now I can castle kingside, because I don't really have to play with any risk anymore. I've already achieved what I believe to be a small advantage, and there's no reason to play risky. So, yeah, I don't really see, if I castle queenside, I don't see a huge, I see his attack coming faster than mine. So, if I castle kingside, he doesn't have bishop takes h7, takes, nope, he doesn't have that. This f6 move, although it looks weird, it's actually really useful. It prevents his knight from having any good squares. So now I just want to put my rooks on the e-file and play with slight advantage of the bishop pair. Okay, so he can do this. He can do this. Indeed, he can. My light squares are pretty weak. I could play g6. That is quite an annoying move, really. Because g6 is weakening. Do I have to? Is there any other option? f5 looks very ugly. I don't want to give him these squares. He's playing pretty well. Okay, let's contest the open file. Make normal moves. At some point I have to improve this knight, which isn't really doing much. I've been looking at knight e7 to f5 to e3. I also do want to play king g7 to shore up my king side and make sure there's never a bishop takes g6 sacrifice. It doesn't work now because bishop takes g6, pawn takes, queen takes, check. I have my queen to block on g7. But I do need to play king g7 to make sure that's not possible. The good thing is that his knights are pretty limited in the squares they can move to. He might play c4 here, or at some point, to try to break free. Okay, interesting. So it's a double attack on my pawns. Very interesting. Well, he's not really attacking this pawn because I just play rook. I just play my rook to b8 and I take his pawn back. So he is threatening to take d5 with check. What's a good way of meeting this? I'm getting a little bit low on time. He's going to take that with check. Can I sacrifice it? Probably not. Interesting. So I'm getting a little bit nervous now. I did miss this idea. I should have seen it. What do I do? What do I do? I also just kind of need to do something. So, yeah, we're gonna have to do this. He does now have like knight e4 using the pin, but that's just a concession I have to make. Yeah, you can do that. And then I'm gonna play, well, no, I dropped the pawn. So, maybe just king g7 unpinning. I have to do that sooner or later anyway. So I still want to play knight f5 to e3. I lost that bishop pair, which I worked all game to achieve. That's not good. So now he's basically forced to take my bishop. Basically forced to do that because now the knight is actually under attack. So I don't really know what he's thinking about. You don't want to move the knight away. Okay. Do I want to maybe double my own pawns? Could that be interesting? I don't see any reason to do that in this position. And then he's not going to take on b7 because I just get rook b8 and then I take on b2. Yeah, so now it's back to around equal. Maybe white is slightly better. That was a little bit inaccurate. So, I might have to play... Oh, so he does go for this. Okay. So I really have to do that. If he plays queen a6, that might be his plan. I just get rook b6 in. And then we don't get a trade of queens. Oh, actually, that could have been problematic. So I win this. Just gotta make sure my knight doesn't hang in these lines. If he does get a queen trade in, I have to make sure my knight doesn't just fall. So I have a rook on the second rank. That's always pretty good, positionally speaking. It would be really nice if I could just stick this knight on e3. That would be very ideal. But unfortunately, that would not be a legal move. I might just play a knight back to c6, just to make sure this knight doesn't hang, and then like rook b8. I'm down a pawn, but I I definitely have compensation. I have activity for the pawn. At least I think so. Usually confidence is half the battle. So just gotta believe that you're better, even if it's false. So I mean, he might be thinking of just playing like a4. Just a4, okay. So he wants to trade rooks. Is there any way to punish his queen, like trapping it? I don't know. Probably not. If I take his rook, king takes. Nothing special going on there. Am I just down a pawn? It doesn't feel like it. Maybe I am. Alright, let's look for tricks. Takes. Maybe I can attack his queen. Yeah, I think. Well, if I played it there, he might have queen c5. Takes. That's not very. It's problematic. He won't want to double his pawns like that. Now, if he plays queen a6, I play rook b6, and the game continues. My knight's not ideally placed, but I have to keep the game going. I think maybe I did not get enough compensation for the pawn sacrificed. Although, his queen is still offsides. A little bit. I feel like I've misplayed this, though. I should have had more for the pawn. I didn't. I did something wrong. So now I can just fight back and hope that I'm okay. He's thinking about where to put the queen. Yeah, queen a6 he won't. That's not a really good move. Maybe queen a4. Okay, I was thinking about just bringing my rook back. So let's just go on to the B file here. What I'm afraid of now is he might play rook e2, just doubling up on and controlling the e file. And that might be a really important factor soon. So I think white is definitely better now. But it's going to be hard for him to push his extra pawn, so I can at least make his life difficult for now. I might also... This bishop isn't doing much, so I might play bishop d7 to harass this queen. Bishop d7. Yeah, but I'm definitely just fighting for survival at this point. Well played by Constantine. Fearless with taking b7. Okay. Do I want to give up 2 rooks for a queen with rook b2? Probably not. Probably not. Otherwise, though, he wants to push the a pawn. He wants to push this. So what if I play queen a3? Queen a3. That looks interesting. Okay, let's go for this. Need to keep my eye on the e7 square. So far, it seems well protected. But, yeah, I have to be careful. So now I do threaten rook b2. And I just win my pawn back. If he plays like c4, I think I have knight b4 winning this bishop. And that's good for me. So I am getting a little bit of counterplay on the queen side. He should have, I think, earlier doubled up. Okay, so he's just doing this. That doesn't seem so accurate to me. What if I just play rook b2? Well, then he could just move. Then I capture. Yeah, that's not really a threat. But if I check... Yeah, what's he doing if I check first? Oh, well, then he takes with his queen. But that's not. I'm not afraid of that. Because I win a pawn. I didn't think too deeply about that. I should have thought a little bit harder. So he's probably planning to take with the queen. Yeah, this looks good for me. This looks good for me. He can't ever play like knight e1 anymore because the knight's still pinned to the bishop. Pinned to the rook by the bishop, right? So I think this is good for me now. If he plays one of his rooks back, then I play rook b2. And I win a pawn back. So if any of the rooks go back, I play... Whoops. If any of the rooks go back, I go rook b2, this rook to b2. And is the queen actually trapped? One sec, if I play this rook to b2, the queen looks trapped. He could take the rook. Oh, well, he's forced to trade the queen for 2 rooks. What if I play... One second. Are there any tactics here? Like, bishop takes here. No, that doesn't work. This rook to b2. Yeah. It's still complicated. I'm not sure if I want to give 2 rooks for the queen. And especially this a pawn is going to be a factor. But I do have to make a move. Let's think. If I take the rook and he takes with the knight, that doesn't do anything. Okay, let's go for this. So the queen's trapped and he has to play a queen takes b1. But it's not at all clear. I think he does get a lot of activity. Maybe it will be better for him. He does have to give the queen, but this a pawn. I was thinking of taking the c pawn, but I might actually have to take the a pawn. Oh wait, I can't even do that. The rook protects it. So I'm kind of playing hope chess at this point. After I take c3, d4 also becomes weak. This is scary. He could do it this way too. Yeah, this is a much better way. If only this bishop wasn't here, I would have a skewer. Or, yeah, a skewer on these two rooks. So anyway, now I want to play. There's a trick, there's a little trap here. To take the knight takes, and then knight takes. So at the end of it, I win his bishop. But once you, okay. Man, that's annoying. I do have knight to e5. Okay. Now this is getting pretty dangerous. Okay. I could take here. If he takes my bishop, nothing. So let's just go back. Can't find all the best moves. Okay. Let's bring the king in for a second. Oh my god, I just blundered. What a horrendous blunder. He just has rook takes, yeah. That was bad. That was bad. Okay, so I have to move my bishop. Let's move it here. So I just have to play quickly now because I'm objectively, I think, losing. Yeah, he has a rook there, but I'm going to go here. Just going to have to play quickly. I mean, the good thing is that it's a still fairly complicated position. And because it's so open, that helps the player with the queen. His king's safety. If his king was on h2, it would be a different story. Oh, that was a good move. That was a very good move. No, if he plays check, then I take his rook. I take his rook on e7. It's undefended. So now he's really threatening it. Maybe bishop e6. Ugh, this is so messy. Bishop e6 now. Then he checks me. Okay, I have to make a move. I do have to make a move. Let's move here. Oh, I mean, I knew that was coming, but played so badly. I'm gonna lose my queen now. Ugh, what a terrible game. I'm just playing out of frustration now. Alright. So, I want to analyze it quickly. You can't really put on an engine here, so... Yeah, I want to make the game interesting by castling queenside. But once I won the bishops, I thought that I could play it safer. That was a good move. Queen b3. I should have expected it. Maybe knight e7 was not the best response. I think that maybe... I didn't want to bother with giving up this pawn. But, let's say if I just wanted to play it like this, I might just have like bishop e6. And, you know, I get a lot of play. I might even be trapping his queen or something. I'm not sure. So, whoops. So let's just go back. And then I just started playing awfully in time pressure. So, maybe it wasn't okay to give this. I could have taken with the pawn, but I assumed that I would get enough play for the pawn. And I kind of did. But then I just started making really bad moves. Check. I think this is good. Yeah, there were other ways to play. I could have just played... after check, rook back, I could have just played this, and the game would continue. So instead, whoops. Instead, where are we? Sorry, I'm very new to chess.com. I don't really use it, so that's why I keep messing this up. Instead, we played this, and yeah, I think the 2 rooks for the queen worked out very well for him. Here, maybe I could have played. Well, no, I had to go back. Then here, I could have played to e4. Totally missed the rook taking on e5, and then yeah, the rest of the game was really bad. So. Hope you enjoyed the game. Thanks for watching.